Would you be relaxed if that deal came back as some kind of border arrangement in the Irish Sea? In other words, Northern Ireland stays in the backstop.
Well, let's deal with all of that. First of all, the original Northern Ireland only backstop was, of course, a suggestion from Michel Barnier in the European Commission, rejected by Theresa May and by Jeremy Corbyn. In the words, no British Prime Minister could ever accept such a solution. Why? Because it separates Northern Ireland in terms of the UK single market, and we sell and trade with the rest of the United Kingdom 3/4 of all our goods, and it would also cause a breach of the Good Friday Agreement. And remember, Boris Johnson, it's because he relies on the votes of the DUP. He recognised in the letter to Donald Tusk in August.
He probably doesn't anymore. He probably doesn't anymore. I mean, he could cut you adrift in the way he's cut his own MPs adrift, quite frankly.
Whatever about the votes, the fact of the matter is that the principles of the Belfast Agreement are very, very clear. And Boris Johnson and all the parties recognise that you can't have a situation where, in order to avoid some hard border in the island of Ireland, which pleases nationalists, that you then create borders down the Irish Sea to the detriment of Unionists. That's why that's a very fundamental point which the government has accepted.
You're saying that's a breach of the Good Friday Agreement, because Naomi Long said it would not be a breach of the Good Friday Agreement. It wouldn't be ideal, but it would be the best possible scenario at this point.
Of course she argues that, but the government doesn't agree with that. Unionists don't agree with that, the overwhelming number of whom say that we want to avoid a hard border in Ireland. Indeed, Leo Varadkar has made it clear recently that in his plans for a no-deal Brexit, there wouldn't be any hard border in the island of Ireland.
So if he comes back to you and says, sorry, we've heard the DUP, but quite frankly, we have to let you go. You've had your money. Well, you didn't show any confidence or supply to Theresa May anyway.
Oh, we did. I mean, don't be now making falsehoods. I know the BBC have a particular view, but that's a falsehood. We did support the government throughout many votes.
Well, you didn't back a deal.
No. Let's be accurate now. Let's not spread falsehoods. The DUP supported the government much more often than many of our own MPs. But on Brexit, where we had an agreement that we progressed on the basis of shared values, namely the integrity of the United Kingdom, Theresa May departed from that, and that's why she went down to not just the DUP opposing her, but the half of her parliamentary party. So let's be accurate in this, and let's not rewrite history.
I'm just asking for your response now. If this is Boris Johnson's only deal, if this is the only way left to him, because he won't ask for an extension and he won't break the law, what would you say to the Prime Minister?
We're very clear. We're very clear that we agree with what Boris Johnson put in his letter to Donald Tusk. The backstop is anti-democratic. It means that nobody in Stormont or London would have any say over large swathes of the economic laws that would apply in Northern Ireland. He has rejected that. He also accepts our position that it's contrary to the provisions of the Belfast Agreement. He's accepted that. So I don't expect Boris Johnson to do anything of the sort. There may be some areas where, in certain areas of the economy, where it's to the benefit of Northern Ireland and the rest of the United Kingdom and the Irish Republic and the rest of the EU to have arrangements. But that would have to be subject to the provisions of paragraph 50 of the joint proposal, which we inserted, which is that the consent of the Northern Ireland Assembly, Unionists and Nationalists, would have to apply. So if all of that applies, then that is fine.
Nigel Dodds, thanks very much indeed. We're joined now.